Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a skirt with old curtain or any cloth. You can do the same thing with any cloth. If you're using a curtain, first start by cutting these parts off. Make sure it is nice and smooth so that you don't we are going to use this part later, so we need it to be nice and smooth so that it won't be seen. Later, now after you cut off this part, it should be smooth like mine. Mine have a little bit of unevenness. That's because my cloth is rough, so hard to cut. So now this is the curtain. When I finished cutting, first fold it in half. The length from the straight line, the length of the straight line from top to bottom should be 2 inches more than the length you need for the skirt, because for the stitches and cutting we need 2 inches. So make it like a perfect square. If you don't have enough cloth from top to bottom of the rectangle which is formed by the curtain, you should join more cloth at the bottom, or you can cut it 2 times for the back and front, so it is like a perfect square like this. Now we are going to need the top part. First mark 1 inch at the top. Now after I just realized I made a mistake, so I'm going to do it all over again. First make it perfectly smooth. Now you should mark 1 inch from the side which has like closed ends, no open ends. So from there you should start marking from the top. You have to mark 1 inch. Now you have to take the length which I'll show you later in the video and mark ½ inch to the side there, over there. Yeah. Now I'm darkening the line. Now to mark the bottom, for me the length is 19 inches, so I'm marking 19 inches like this. I'll show you a picture after this later on in the video so that you'll understand it more clearly. So here's the thing after I marked. Now if you're folding in a square, this is the measurements you need to follow. Now if you're doing it like me, you have to follow these measurements. Now it's time to cut it. If you want, you can rewind to the previous bit, pause the video and see the length. See the measurements. Then you can start folding, assuming how much cloth you will need for this. My cloth is too thick to cut, as I said to you before, so I'm doing like this. But if you have a normal cloth, you can just do it the way I showed you before, like folding it in a square. This is the finished this is the thing after I finished cutting it. Now you need to sew the ends together. First sew this end together. Make sure you do the measurements correctly. especially the length should be 1 inch more than you need. So make sure you get that right. If okay, now I'm sewing the ends together. After I sew the ends together, I'm turning it right side out, and then you'll have to fold the top part towards the inside and stitch it. As I'm showing in the video, you need to fold it towards the inside, not like this towards the outside, towards the inside. You don't need to fold much towards the inside. Half inch would be enough. If you have experience in stitching, less than half inch would be enough. But if you are a beginner, you need half inch so that you'll have something to fix if you made a mistake. Now this is sitting after I finished sewing the top part. Now it's time to attach the elastic. I took the skirt part 5 inches more than the length of my waist, as I showed you before, but the elastic you need to take the exact size of your waist, or if you are making a frock, a skirt for a frock or any other dresses, you can take the elastic 1 inch looser than your waist. But if you are stitching a skirt, then you have to take the elastic half inch less than the size of your waist so that it it sticks tight. So now I'm sewing the elastic. Make sure you are stretching the elastic and sewing it, because the cloth here is so much more than the elastic. So if you stretch it too much, you'll end up with a very tight skirt, and if you stretch too less, you will have a very loose skirt and elastic will not be enough for the entire thing. So make sure you get that right. But if you don't know how much to stretch, you can just put some pins to the end, see how much you need, and then you can sew it while removing the pins. I took so much more than I need for the skirt cloth, not the elastic, because I want this nice ruffles. As you can see, ruffles are like small frills. Now it's time for the second stitch. Second stitch also you need to stretch and stitch it. Now as you can see, there are some nice ruffles. Ruffles are like small frills, as I said to you before, I think so. Now for the bottom, you have to fold the bottom and stitch like this. You can fold half inch or 1 inch. If you want, you can do 2 stitches for the bottom because it will stay nice. Now make sure you start your stitch from the end where there is a line like this which you stitched before. So before starting your stitch, make sure you are doing rough so that the stitch won't come apart or fall. The stitch won't be removed. Now after you stitch the whole thing, you can add a second stitch to the bottom, but I'm not doing it in my video. This is the finished skirt. This skirt is for my sister. I actually don't have a matching top for the skirt, but I picked this shirt for my sister. If you want to make a skirt like this, make sure you have a matching top. I'm actually going to turn this skirt into a frock, but now I'm in the video, I'm just showing you how to make the skirt part. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.